Alright. What did we cover last time? I know we covered mean, median, mode, standard deviation. Did we cover that yet?
Yes.
We did. Okay. Well, let's just make sure everybody's got it and let's revisit it and then we'll move on. So, let's pull up one more. Is it 13? I think we started the one with the money, didn't we? Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to find one, but I can't find it right now. Must not be that section. Okay, thank you. There's one like it. All right, we're going to go ahead and find everything on these guys. I don't know if they're the same numbers or not, but let's go ahead and use these. And now put them in the Excel spreadsheet so you can see whatever I'm doing. I thought the mode was 32,000 last time. Alright, first thing you want to do is put them in order. So they're in order. Let's go over here and we'll say mean, median, mode, and all that good stuff. Mean, median, mode, range, mid-range, variance, and standard deviation. Now the mean is going to be equal to the summation of x, all of these guys, over n. So we'll go ahead and say summation of all these guys, and then divided by that number right there. And that should give you 36,700. Now we got to find the mean. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these two numbers right here are going to make up the mean. I meant the median. So that's going to equal, parentheses, 30,000 plus 29,000 divided by what? 2. Mode is observed. We'll just make that red. I really don't like that red. And that's going to equal 30,000. Range is equal to the highest minus the what? Mid-range is going to be equal to the highest plus the lowest divided by what? Now the variance. But before we do the variance, we've got to remember that the formula for the variance variance is going to be equal to, where's my thing? Summation of x minus x bar, quantity squared, over n minus 1. What y'all talking about?
Yeah. What's the mid-range?
Mid-range is 52,000.
Hey, get that.
The highest plus the lowest divided by 2. So, in order to get the variance, we've got to subtract the mean from each of our x's. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to call this column x minus x bar. And that's equal to 25,000 minus the mean. And I'm going to lock it by hitting F4. And then copying that down. So you need to take your calculators and subtract to make sure you get the same numbers. What?
I'm behind. today. You're going way too fast for me today. I'm in slow mode.
All right, I'll stop.
I mean, you keep going because I'm way behind. Unless you just want to start over.
Well, where are you?
I'm at the variance.
Okay, that's what we are.
No,
That's,
you're in the middle of the variance.
no, we just started
You
it.
just started it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. You just wrote the form.
Right here.
Okay.
X minus X bar. I've got to take the average away from each one of my numbers. Right here. So I take 36,700, take it away from 25,000. Take 36,700 away from 26,000. Take 36,700 away from each one of these.
Okay.
And that'll give you these numbers. Now, what does the formula say next? What do you do after you subtract X minus X bar?
Square.
You square it. So this will be X minus X bar quantity squared. So you take that number and you square it. And what that does, it makes everything positive. You're going to get some BA numbers, but that's okay. It'll work itself out at the end. And what do you do with those numbers? What does that big E mean? Add them up. So your numerator is equal to that BA number right there. Now take that numerator and divide by, what's n minus 1? 9. So, right here, you're going to type in, equals that BA number divided by, parentheses, this number minus 1. And that's our variance, which really we don't really care about. But what is the standard deviation? The standard deviation is equal to the square root of the what? Variance. So that's why you actually get the variance, so you can take the square root of it.
So the variance, you said we what? You take that big number and divide by what?
N minus 1. And n is what?
No.
10. So 10 minus 1 is 9.
So could you put that in there
Huh?
instead of doing all that minus one stuff and then putting that formula in that box?
Can you write that?
Say it one more time. Wouldn't
Can you
right what?
Write the steps to get the variance out.
Okay. One. Subtract. The average from each number. 2. Square each number from step 1. 3. Add up all of step 2. And that will give you your numerator. And step 4 is divide the numerator by n minus 1. And that'll give you your variance. And to get your standard deviation, you just take the variance and raise it to the 0.5 power. Or take the square root of it. Same thing. And there is your standard deviation. Huh? N is the number of numbers that you have right here. 10. There's 10 of them.
Okay, I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
On step 1, what you're doing is like you're doing, let's say like 25,000 minus 36,700, right? So it's not 36,700 minus 21,000.
No.
It's not that.
It's x minus x bar. X is the number that you have in this column. And you subtract the mean from each one.
Okay.
So the first ones are going to be negative, then it's going to go into the positives. Now what you do with that mean and standard deviation is you put the mean in the middle, and on the right side you add the standard deviation. And on the left side, you what? Subtract the standard deviation. Hold on. No. Okay? And that is called the normal distribution, which if you draw a little line right there and draw a little curve like that, you got the mean in the middle, Actually, it's supposed to be, hold on a minute, let me redo that. Do it by hand.
What was the answer for the, standard deviation?
18,354.84. So what does this say? Basically, 95% is going to fall within 2 standard deviations. So between -9 and 73,000, that is normal.
Where did -9 come from?
Take 2 standard deviations to the left, 2 standard deviations to the right. You got to subtract when you go to the left, you got to add when you go to the right. Now, the reason it's like that is because you've got some data over here that's kind of messed up. Look at the data over here. And look at also the mean and the median. Is the mean and the median close together?
No.
No. So that means you've got data that's not tight. That means you've got loose data. And what that means is you've got data over here that doesn't coincide with the majority. You got 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 30, 31, 62, and 79. What data throws this data out? Or what numbers throw the data out of Wampus? The 62 and the 79. Why?
Because they're like 30,000 more.
Exactly. And that's why you've got this negative right here, because the data is kind of out of kilter. If you was to throw the 62,000 and the 79,000 out, then the data would be a whole lot tighter and you'd have a better normality curve right here. It wouldn't be negative $9,000. It would be, you know, 12,000 to 73,000 or 12,000 to 31,000 or something like that. So you got a little bit of abnormality right here because of these two numbers right here. And that's the kind of stuff you look for when you're dealing with statistics. So let's try nerd. I'll get some smaller numbers and y'all can try this one. Nothing else to discourage you a little bit. All right, let's try that one. I'll blow it up so everybody sitting halfway across the room can see it. Now this is a test question because this is probably what I'd give you on a test as far as how many numbers. I wouldn't give you those big numbers. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finished? Well, I don't see why not. Kinda, sorta. Close. All right, I said n is equal to I say 8. And X, let's go 9, 11, 24, 11, 10, 11, 23, and 13. 9, 11, 24, 11, 10, 11, 23, 13. Alrighty. Thing I'll put it in order. Mean, median, mean, median, mode, range, mid-range, variance, and standard deviation. Equals. And summation of these guys divided by this guy. 14 is your mean. Is that what everybody got? Good. Median. Median is going to be these two guys. Oops, sorry. Yeah, these two guys. And equals, parentheses, 11 plus 11. Of course, it's 11, but you don't always want to go with the assumption. You want to always calculate it. Mode is 11 also. And range is equal to the highest minus the what? And the mid-range is equal to, parentheses, highest plus the lowest divided by 2. Well, we have to make sure the people across the room can see. They can't move. All right. So, first thing we need for the variance is x minus x bar. That's equal to 9 minus 14, F4. And then copy those down. And then what do we do with those?
Add them together. I mean, square them.
Square them. And then what do we do with all those numbers?
Add them together.
Add them together, and that's your numerator. And the numerator is 250. Now the variance is going to be equal to that number divided by 8 minus 1. And then the standard deviation is equal to that number raised to the 0.5 power. So the mean is 14 and the standard deviation is 6, or 5.98. So your normal curve is going to be right here. That's going to be equal to the mean in the middle. 14 plus what? Standard deviation on one side and equals standard deviation again. 2 on the right, 2 on the left. So anything between 2 and 26 pretty much is normal.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
On the standard deviation, should we just round?
It'll say on the homework or the test. The reason I rounded to 6 while I was talking was because 5.98, that's close to 6. Yeah.
But it'll
Usually,
tell you like what place they're in.
it'll tell you. And you only round at the end. In other words, you don't do any rounding while you're calculating. You round when you get this, when you raise 35.7143, when you raise it to the 0.5 power, that's when you round. You don't round 35.7143 to 0.7 and then take the square. You don't do that. You take at least 4 or 5 digits, and then at the end, if you're looking for the standard deviation, you round the final answer. You don't round 35 and then take the square root of it. You don't do that. You round at the very end, whatever you're trying to find. And this is what you look like: 14 to 20 and 26, 14 to 8 and 2. So 2, 8, 14, 20, and 26. You want to do a nerd? I think you want to do a nerd. I think we need to move it up a notch. That one right there. 15 numbers. I'll blow it up for those people sitting across the room that can't move.
Put it on your mouth.
Yeah,
Good job, buddy.
will do. All right, for the mean, I got 178.67. Median is 15, so that means 7 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 189 is our median. Mode, I don't really care, but do we have a mode?
No.
None, so you put NA, or don't have one, or ain't got none, or something. Range is equal to this minus this. Mid-range is equal to the highest plus the lowest divided by 2. Variance, well, we gotta say x minus this minus this, F4. And this squared. That's equal to our numerator. So our variance is equal to this divided by 14. 3093.2. And that number raised to the 0.5 power is 55.6. Yeah, which would be 15 minus 1. So mean goes in the middle. Equals this plus standard deviation. Equals this plus standard deviation. Equals this minus the standard deviation. And equals this minus standard deviation. So 67 to 290 is normal. All right. Now, everybody get your cell phone apps out and your calculators out if you got a TI-83 or better. Here's your TI-83, and we're just going to take that first problem we did. Not the first problem, but the second problem. Nine, 10, 11, and we're going to put it in the calculator. All right, so the first thing you do is type in second list and click enter for L1. I'm sorry, that's not right. Second or stat. There we go. Edit. Hit stat and edit. There we go. And clear. And go over to L1. So stat, edit, and clear L2 and move over to L1 because this is just like a spreadsheet. And type in 9, enter, 10, enter, 11, enter, 11, enter, 11, enter, 13, enter, 23, enter, and 24, enter. Now if you need to put something in order, you just hit Stat, Sort A, Ascending, and L1. L1 is Shift 1, close parenthesis, and it'll sort it. And if you want to go look at it, there it is, it's sorted, which we typed it in sorted anyway. Now you don't have to do anything. If you want to do whatever, all you have to do is just hit the Stat key and go to whatever you want to. So I want to type in my first variable stats, calculate, hit enter, and L1 is defaulted. You can type in second function 1 or it will automatically go to it. And there you go. Your mean is 14. Go down. It should give you your standard deviation. There it is, 5.97. 5.97. S. See the S right there? SX. 5.97. Also gives you quartiles, which are down here. Go to Stat, Calculate, hit enter one time, and hit enter again. Alright, now those of you that's got a calculator, let's put that one in, and those of you who don't have a calculator, you can do it by hand. Find everything. I'll blow it up for you. After you type them in and sort them, just hit Stat, Calc, and first variable statistic, and second function L1, which is the column, and there's your stats. X bar, that's your mean, is 25.34. Your standard deviation is 4.82 or 4.83. N is equal to 10. Your minimum, your low end is 18.7. Your high end is 31.9. Median is 25.55. Question, gripe, complaint. That's not difficult. Is it? Do it on your calculator or do it by hand, either one. And that takes care of that section, which is 13.4. Now let's talk about the quartiles, not all of it, because let's talk about the quartiles now. Make sure, yeah. Now, when you draw a normal distribution curve, we read from left to right. So when you read a normal distribution, you need to think of it kind of like a gas tank. If we read from left to right, this end would pretty much be what? Empty. This would be a quarter of a tank. This would be half a tank. This would be 3/4 of a tank. And this would be full. Now, a quarter of a tank is pretty much called 25%, or the 25th percentile. It's also called the first quartile. It's the same thing. If somebody says the 25th percentile or the first quartile, they're talking about the same thing. This right here, median, in some cases the mean, is the second quartile, or the 50th what? 50th percentile. And this guy right here is your third quartile, the 75th percentile. Now these three numbers are pretty important, especially for a box plot, which the box plot shows where most of your data is in relation to the center of your graph. So these guys are important. Most of the time the median is going to be the 50th percentile. And that's what they're showing you in the book where they're talking about percentiles. And that's on page 801. Now, finding the quartiles is pretty simple. I'll give you a, let's get an example. Okay, let's look at number 11 right here. Don't even, just ignore the directions because I want to use some simple numbers and show you how to find quartiles. So just write those down, number 11. Eight, 9, 9, 11, 13, 13, 13, 24, and 26. Now, of course, with any problem, you want to find your mean, median, mode, range, mid-range, variance, and standard deviation. But when you want to find the quartiles, you just find the median of the median of the median. That's pretty much it. So first of all, you put them in order, which they are in order. Eight, 9, 9, 11, 13, 13, 13, 24, and 26. All right, so how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Great. That means we just pick the middle, and there's our median. Pick the middle because we've got 9. So if n is 9, we pick the middle, and that's our median. And that is your 50th percentile. Or your what? Second quartile. That's it. 13 is it. Now, how many numbers do we have above the 13? That's not rhetorical. I'm asking y'all to interact with me.
4.
4! That's an even number. So we have to find the median of those guys. And the median of those guys is the average of what? These two guys. So I got to go out here and say equals parentheses this guy plus this guy divided by 2. And that is our 25th percentile or our first quartile. And then same thing down here. And that's our 75th percentile or our what? Third quartile. And that's how you find the percentiles and the quartiles. Check and make sure at 13 plus that. I better check it because let me check it. Hold on just a second. Okay. Equals parentheses this guy plus this guy divided by 2. It's 18.5. Okay. Sorry. Must have took this one. So that's it. Now, the way you do your 5-point summary And that's what it's called, your 5-number summary. Some people call it a 5-point summary. 5-number summary is the mean, the first quartile, the second quartile, the third quartile, and the max. Well, the mean, that's pretty simple. What's the mean? 8. It's your lowest number. Okay, now y'all hold tight. What's the max? The highest number. Okay? And that's equal to 9. That's equal to 13. And that's equal to 18.5. And there is your 5-number summary. So you might want to make a note of your 5-number summary, because sometimes you might see that, you might see it with a test question or a homework question or whatever the case may be.
Thank you.
Okay? Alrighty, I take it with everybody packing up, it's time for class to be over.